please come up to the...
Frank Cameron, Pennsburg. Concerning the middle school, a couple simple questions, maybe a couple simple answers. If the school goes through, maybe you think it already has, maybe. You plan on busing the children on Montgomery Avenue?
So there'll be sidewalks on Montgomery Avenue?
Where there are no sidewalks. There are about 18 homes on the street that children may have to get to the middle school, either now or eventually.
Right, so on Montgomery Avenue where there are not sidewalks, past 6th Street, yes.
North side, yes.
Yes.
You plan on busing?
On Montgomery Avenue, if it's beyond 6th Street, we already bus those students, I believe, Karen, don't we?
From 11th Street to 8th Street, do you plan on busing them?
So, but there's going to be sidewalks from 11th Street?
No.
From 11th Street to 8th Street, do you plan on busing the children?
There's going to be sidewalks from 11th Street to 8th Street.
On the north side, Pennsburg side.
No, they'll walk on the sidewalks on the other side. There'll be a crosswalk there for them.
Okay. How do you plan on getting the children over there? The ones who live in Pennsburg.
So there'll be a crosswalk there?
At 11th Street and 8th Street. What about the 18 homes in between?
So they'll have to walk up.
They're going to walk where?
Well, to the crosswalk.
You gotta get to a crosswalk to walk on a crosswalk.
They would walk on the property. They're allowed by law to walk at least a certain distance, even on the property without sidewalks.
For the street.
No, well, I would assume they'll walk. No.
Very few children walk on the properties, they walk in the street. Are you okay with that?
I'm sorry, that's a process now. If they would have to go to the high school, if they're in that right location, closer to the high school, I mean, there's no other way for them to get there.
Don't we all realize they're going to walk across the street? Come on, we're all parents. What are we going to do about that? Nobody's going to walk from the middle of the block to 11th Street or from the middle of the block to 8th Street to get to the new school.
Right.
Don't you think we have a problem?
So kids on sidewalks, no matter what, I mean, we're going to have crosswalks, but people, I don't know how to answer that other than people
It's a simple
like cross
question.
things across too.
It's very simple. The people who live
So,
on
but,
the
so,
side,
okay.
people who live on Pennsburg side, the kids have to get to the school. Are they going to walk all the way up to 11th Street or 8th Street to cross a crosswalk?
There'll be a crosswalk at the school as well, though. There's one, if you look at the plans, there's one there too, right at the school. So there's a couple options for them.
But they still have to get there.
Right.
If they live, let's say, 3 houses down from, or 4 houses down from 11th Street, they want to get to the school. What are they going to do? Walk up to 11th Street, cross the walk, and then down, or straight across the street? A lot of traffic.
There's 3 different places where they could cross, but I don't know how we would stop that, and we can't. I mean,
Oh,
so I'm not understanding
It's
that.
simple to stop and put sidewalks in Montgomery Avenue to keep, if you're talking about safety for the
But
children.
we are putting sidewalks on Montgomery Avenue.
He's talking on the
Yeah,
Pennsburg
but
side, yeah.
I don't think that resolves
That's-
the issue he's talking about.
Am I not making myself clear?
No, I think I understand what you're saying. I just don't know what the answer is.
But we have to have an answer before we build a school. If this thing is approved or going to be approved, we have to have an answer where these kids are going to walk.
So what's the problem with the kids walking if they have sidewalks to walk on?
How long you lived in Pennsburg? There's no sidewalks on that side.
I don't live in Pennsburg.
Okay, Upper Hanover.
I don't live in
You know what
I
I'm
live in
talking
Marlboro.
about. You don't need to act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You do know what I'm talking about. On Montgomery Avenue,
So, but
there's no
Mr. Camburn,
sidewalks.
so I think you're saying we should put sidewalks on both sides of the road.
I am
If
saying,
I'm understanding you, but just let me, but what's to stop a child, just using that line of reasoning, right? What's to stop a child, just because there's sidewalks on both sides of the street, doesn't mean that somebody's not gonna jaywalk, because it's easier to not walk up on the sidewalk, it's much easier to cross the street and go that way. I don't think you could ever resolve that issue 100%. I understand what you're saying now, I think, which is we should put sidewalks on both sides of the road, but it doesn't resolve what you're saying could be the issue potentially, because they could still jaywalk either way, if that's what you're saying.
but you talk about crosswalks.
Yes.
There's 3 crosswalks.
Yes.
You gotta get to the crosswalks from the Pennsburg side. If you live in the middle of the block, you're gonna walk in the street or you're gonna cross the street, one or the other. If you had sidewalks, you'd walk the sidewalk.
Or not.
I guess my simple question was not quite a simple answer. Because we're still putting the children at risk. I'm sorry for asking the question.